What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be diving on into a game called Low Magic Age. This is going to be more or less my first impression, so I'm not going to have kind of a closing comments for you on this one. It's been kind of a slow week, and I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to find stuff to throw up on the channel, but I've had this one frequently recommended to me from both my audience and from just general kind of, I don't want to call it solicitation, but anyways, just general recommendations, I suppose. As I've had this game described to me, this is Battle Brothers, if Battle Brothers was set in 3.5 D&D. And so we're going to dive on in, spend about 30 minutes with the game. It may run a little bit long, just in case we wanted to get a little bit deeper in and see what we have happening with the title or whatever. But that is an appealing idea to me. Battle Brothers is one of my all-time favorite games, so the thought of a sandbox sort of open world, do whatever you want, there is no narrative D&D campaign sounds like a lot of fun, so that's exactly what we're going to do today. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, I'll have a link for you down below in the description. You can wishlist the game down there. On top of that, you can also take a look at my description to find a Twitch stream and also to find a Discord where you can catch me live most days of the week. Haven't been streaming a whole lot this week just because my voice has been mostly gone. It like comes and goes, but I'm bouncing back. I feel like I'm on the road to recovery, so I should be more active in the coming weeks. Let's dive on in. So the game has two different gameplay modes. There's the arena mode where you create a custom party and you fight basically consecutive battles to go as far as you possibly can. And then there's the adventure mode, which actually puts you on a world map proper and you can set out to forge your destiny and gain fame either as a trader or as an adventurer or as a monster hunter or really whatever you want to do. We'll go with adventure mode for right now, and we're going to go with a new adventure. This game is widely customizable. I was actually taking a look through the various options that exist inside of the world creation, and there's a lot of stuff that you can do. You can fiddle with a lot of the aspects of the game, which I think is really, really great. If somebody plays it and they find that they don't like something particular about the way the whole thing unfolds, you can modify a lot of the parameters of the game. I mean, you can you can take it up to an epic campaign and make it go up to level 40. I don't even know what a level 40 D&D character would look like, because like everything after level 20, as I recall, is like demigod status, basically, where you're actually like engaging in war on like astral planes and stuff on the behalf of like greater planar beings and things of that nature. I don't think I've ever been higher than level 10 or 11 before a D&D campaign actually folded. So like a level 40 campaign sounds crazy. You can also adjust the amount of XP it's going to take for your characters to level up, just in case you wanted like an accelerated early game and you want to get out of the doldrums of the early play. When it comes to world customization, you can play with all kinds of things, from the amount of monsters there are to how frequently people try to shiv you in the kidneys, just in case you've got a particular kink for kidney shiving. There's also a number of house rules that you can play around with. These are common things that people do to D&D campaigns in order to like balance them out or fiddle with them. You can basically kind of tool things. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can definitely play around with stuff to make things more or less easy, immersive, whatever you want to do. All right. So we get to create a party right here, and one thing I do like about this game is you can play it kind of free, or you can play it with a full 6-man party that you custom created from the beginning, sort of Icewind Dale style. I think I'm probably just going to create one character because that puts us in the fun situation where we have to pick up randomly procedurally generated characters from the towns, and we sort of have to make do with what we have. Obviously, we need to come up with a better party name. I think we're going to be the Golden... Nope, not the Godland. The Golden Fist. Nothing says, you know, violence, and nothing says, like, retribution and righteousness like a big gold fist. That'll do it. Let's make a new character. We're going to do a custom build real fast. This is going to be very, very standard fare stuff as far as D&D is concerned. You can make everything from a human to an elf. There's all the subclasses right here. You can make different types of dwarves. They've even got a lot of the things that are in Splat books. If you don't know what Splat books are, they're like supplementary D&D books. Everything from kobolds to lizard folk to cat folk to goblins and things like that. Just in case you wanted to make like an all green skin party, or you wanted to make a party of kobolds. I'll probably just go with a human for right now because that's like nice and simple and keeps us moving. Plus, one of the big things with D&D is that the humans free feat has always been like an amazing choice. We're going to be a paladin. That sounds super fun. I love the idea of being a paladin. We get 2 weapon proficiencies. I will probably go with hammer, and I will probably go with light blade maybe. That sounds okay. Yeah, I think that's a workable play. I don't know if the light blade is swords, though. Ah, heavy blades is what we want. Okay, we'll go with heavy blades then. That way we can use long swords and things. We get a +4 to our dice rolls on anything that we have proficiency in. Over here, we're going to take the standard point buy-in system for making our stats. As far as I'm concerned, we'll probably go to 16 on strength, since that's going to give us a +3 to our attack. That should give us a +7 as long as we are using a weapon that we're proficient in. That's a pretty strong starting place for a level 1 character. Dex bonus doesn't really matter because we're going to be wearing heavy armor. And armor is going to kind of like nerf the amount of dex bonus we get to actually dodging and parrying and all that kind of stuff. Since we are a frontline fighter, it's probably a great idea for us to have some constitution. Intellect, not altogether that important. I'll probably take up, ooh, I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty good starting array for a paladin right there. It's not too bad. Paladins have to wear a lot of hats and they got to have a lot of stats. And so anyways, I feel like that puts us somewhere close to where I want to be. We can more than likely use like a belt of strength or something to get the strength up. And then from there, we can fiddle with other stuff in order to make things a little bit more I guess we can reckon out our stats a little bit stronger. I'll probably go with a little bit of extra charisma just in case. Although wisdom, I think, is also tempting. I actually don't know what I want to do with it. We'll go with the wisdom so that we can take wisdom up to 16. All right, and then over here, we get 3 feats. Now, I'm not going to bore you with an explanation of, like, what all this stuff does, but feats are basically packages that allow your character to do various things. So we could pick up extra specific weapon proficiencies. We could be good with a shield, which I think is a strong choice because we are going to be tanking for our party. You can get cleaving. You can get power attacks. It's up to you what you want to go with. You can get some extra saving throws to make you better at dodging bolts or projectiles or things of that nature. If that's the sort of thing that you find sexy along the way, it's really your call. For right now, I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick what I feel like is going to do the best for us. Alright, so my final selections are actually pretty standard fare. I took combat reflexes, that way I could throw myself into melee and get infinite attacks of opportunity. Basically, everybody attached to me is going to be locked down because our character is a paladin, so he should be in the fray, protecting kind of the weaker, more wispy party members that are more likely to be one-shotted. I took power attack. If our attack bonus is higher than our enemy's AC bonus, it converts the difference into extra damage on every attack. That's pretty decent and allows us to go in on cleaving a little bit later. That way we can attack multiple enemies at once. And then I also took, where's my third one at? I took something else and I don't recall what I took. Oh yeah, I took a shield focus. There it is. So we get an extra armor class and reflex when using a shield. So that should make us a little bit better against people that are brave enough to fire into melee as well. We don't have a choice but to be lawful good. It is what it is with the paladin. If you don't know what alignment is basically your character's outlook towards the world. It basically determines whether they're good, evil, or just sort of trying to get by. The first word is lawful, neutral, or chaotic. That's really the character's position with respect to the law. Lawful characters believe that laws and rules are necessary in order for society to function, and they try to adhere to that as best as possible. Neutral characters are sort of irrelevant. They act sort of on stimuli. Like, they don't think that law is good, they don't think that law is bad, they kind of just take it one piece at a time. Chaotic characters tend to want to live free. They tend to not really care about laws so long as it serves the greater goal that they're after. The second word is going to tell your character's focus when it comes to the struggle between, like, good and evil. A good character will usually try to act within the confines of what is beneficial towards the greater good. So for an example, a lawful good character will act inside the law towards the greater good. A neutral good character will act on their own volition towards the the overall good. And a chaotic good character will break the law in order to serve the greater good. They will act basically perpendicular to the law if it suits their needs in order to benefit people, so on and so forth. It's kind of a confusing concept for a lot of new D&D players, but if you fiddle around with it, it'll make sense, especially if you look up, like, examples. We get to choose our character's portrait. It actually auto-assigns the portrait, I think, if we pick a cool-looking paladin character. There's a number of different avatars that you can have your character manifest on the map. There's actually a pretty wide selection out here. I'll probably go with something like that right there. Oh, he's got, like, the White Tree of Gondor on his shield. That's kind of cool. There we go. So we've got our avatar and we've got our portrait all nice and set up. Now we got to choose a name for this character. I feel like Swolehammer is a name that really, really kind of gets along what we're going for. That's a character right there that people say Swole Hammer's coming and you get out of the street. All right, so you get a finalization of your character sheet right here, and you get moving. He'll be added to the list down here. I've only made a couple of characters, but you can pick up to 6 of these if you want to and take a look at all the character sheets. You can start out with a full party if that's what suits you, or you can kind of just take what you take. We're just going to take Swole Hammer for right now. We're going to start out very, very lonely. You slowly open your eyes, dizziness clouding your mind. There's going to be a little bit of dialogue at the beginning of the game in order to get you set up. It's basically like a really, really brief tutorial. I wouldn't worry about it too heavily. Basically, we just need to go to a couple points, fight some goblins, and then it'll cut us loose and allow us to be free on the world map. There's some kind of large rat running around right there. We've got ourselves a roo. All right, here's our first spot. And there's some loot on the coast. Basically, if you're starting with a 6-man party, you are separated at the beginning of the game, and you have to find all your party members. But since we're all alone, this is actually kind of not really altogether that relevant. But one of these points has taken us to our first combat, where you can see our characters on the map. We've picked up a couple of, like, looky-loos along the way who have joined us. Combat is turn-based, and it's pretty much exactly D&D. So if you know how to play D&D, you more than likely know how to play the combat in this game once you figure out the fiddly bits that exist around the context of the UI. However, I will tell you, this is kind of like a little bit of a tutorial to the game. If you right-click on your character, it will give you literally every single action your character can take at any given time, and so that can really, really help out when it comes to organizing what you want to do. I'm going to move the fighter forward. The fighter and the paladin are both going to engage on this side. Hopefully we do a good job. She's a cleric, but she's going to leave the party pretty soon, so don't worry about her. The game does condense your hit chances down based on like what your enemy's defense and what your attack is, but the basic idea behind D&D combat is that you attack the enemy, you roll a 20-sided dice, with a 20 being a critical hit, or a 19 in certain cases, or 18 in certain cases. It can be modified where your critical hit zone is. But anyways, with a 1 being a critical failure and a 20 being a critical hit in the most simplistic terms, and then you roll the dice and you add your bonus. So for us, that's +7 because we have 3 from strength and we have 4 from our weapon proficiency. The enemy, we have to roll higher than their armor class, which I don't know if I can actually look at right now, but I'll show you the armor class. We missed with a 70% right there. We're getting chewed on a little bit at the moment. I'm gonna need this. Wow, we're not dodging anything at the moment. Feels bad. Oh. How did he do like a double attack right there? Hold on. Hold on. Todd, you're going crazy out here. You're making me look bad, man. The game does use contextual UI prompts. So basically, if you have your cleric under control and you mouse over somebody that's wounded, it will automatically put cure wounds on your mouse without any of your input. The game is full of like good little things like that, where if somebody's poisoned and you have a cleric and you mouse over them, it'll automatically equip like a poison cure spell or whatever. It's pretty nice, actually. So there we go. Our paladin's good to go. Wow, our paladin is really kind of being scuffed right now. He hasn't dodged a single attack, and he hasn't landed a single attack this entire time. This is actually kind of embarrassing. After we finish off the enemy, we're going to get a battle synopsis. Everybody in the fight got 60 XP. We got 67 crowns, gold pieces, whatever you want to call them, and we gained a little bit of reputation. All right. So we need to continue looking for our companions that are actually non-existent because we started the game out alone. Each of these little areas that you see on the map are interactive, like these tents and these cathedrals and these towers and everything else like that. Those are all interactable. You can explore all of them, and there will be little challenges, there will be little enemy fights, there will be loot, there will be all kinds of stuff in these varying locations. And so it may be worth swinging on through and taking a look once you've got yourself settled and you feel like you've got a party composition that benefits the adventuring life. Over here at Spike's Fortress, we're going to have to fight a few more goblins. That's about all there is to it. Yes, continue curing me with your Cure Light wounds. Thank you. Alright, move the warrior up to there. He'll fight so that he can't be flanked from that side, since there are numerous goblins over here. I guess they're throwing stuff at me. They've got varying detritus that they've picked up off the field. 2 damage taken right there. You know, I would really like it if my paladin would ever dodge anything. Let's go ahead and throw out a bless spell over here. Bless spell is going to get everybody a bonus to their attack, so that'll be nice to have. And in fact, even with the blessing laid upon us, unfortunately our attacks were futile. Feels bad. Feels real, real bad. Hey, we landed a hit, and it was a crit. Okay, we're coming back with a vengeance over here. We're coming back with a little bit of pep in our step. That's what I like to see. Another big miss right there. He's going to point blank fire in melee. Interesting choice. We've killed off... Oh, no, we haven't killed him. We've wounded him, but he's not dead yet. Let's move the cleric up. She landed a staff hit on him, so he's now dead. And he is now also dead, and we've concluded our second fight against goblins. We've got 90 XP now. You level up to level 2 at 1,000 XP. It's pretty bog standard as far as D&D goes. This game does throw you a really, really nice boon at the beginning of the game. No matter what you do, you get a +1 belt of giant strength, which is just like, wow, that's a really, really good item. Like, that's a legit item that will last you from the beginning of the game till the end of the game. Like, melee characters tend to really, really salivate over the acquisition of belts of giant strength. And we'll throw that on us, and as you can see, it's adjusted. We now have a +8 to hit with our weapons, which is fantastic. At the moment, we have a great sword. Oh, that explains why we were getting schlapped. I thought the game would start me out with a shield and a hammer. Yeah, we should have 2 more AC right there. So that's your armor class. That's what you're trying to roll higher than with your D20 on any character. They used to have a really convoluted system before they realized you could just do it additively called THAC0, but I kind of miss the THAC0 days. I learned to play D&D on THAC0, which is basically the exact same thing as the current system for combat. It just removes a step, basically. And we've got an enemy right here. He is attacking us, so we are fighting alone. Our party members have left us after giving us a brief tutorial on paladinizing. It's a fast rat right there. That dude's speedy. Luckily, he doesn't hit that hard. 100 XP, 20 bucks, so that's nice. As a paladin, we should have lay on hands and some other options too. What is that, a hobgoblin soldier? Let's go to Port Redconch first and see if we can't expand out the party a little bit. It sort of bums me out that, like, your little avatar right here on the world map doesn't change to match the one you use in combat. Like, it stays on the avatar for the lady that was doing the tutorial for whatever reason. There may be an option around here in order to adjust that and shift it on over. The game does seem to be pretty customizable, but since this is kind of like my first impressions of the game, I don't really know where that might be at, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time looking for it. We have a wizard over here that we can hire. Chaotic neutral and neutral neutral. Not really a fan of either of those alignments. It looks like this one is spec'd into Elementalist, so they're an AoE wizard build. This one is a controller, and so they've probably got lots of things that are meant to keep the enemy from causing problems, blinds, sleeps, things of that nature. There are quests inside of every town. These are procedurally generated quests. There are factions that control these towns and whatnot. That you should keep in mind. You can also totally and completely make your living in this game as a trader, if that's what you want to do. The game actually has a pretty interesting system where it's profitable to trade, and so, you know, if you just want to move things from point A to point B and make some money, you are more than welcome to do that. They do have a throwing hammer. I'm more interested in a hammering hammer. I don't really want to throw my hammer at all. I am going to buy supplies real fast, though. We didn't talk about supplies. So up here in the top left-hand corner of the UI, you've got your money, how much weight you're carrying on you at the moment. You've got your supplies. Basically, these supplies are sort of a condensed idea of all the things you need from day to day, like food, camping supplies, tents, things of that nature. You lose one of these per day in order to heal. If you run out of them, I'm not exactly sure what happens, but it's probably not good. These are our spell reagents. This goes back to an old idea. Nowadays, in 5th edition D&D, they've condensed it down to where you are assumed, so long as you have a reagent pouch, you are assumed to have like all lesser and normal reagents, but you don't have the rare ones or something like that. But this goes back to an old idea from like the Ultima days and the earlier editions of D&D where you need components. So you might need like a sprig of pine to cast a spell, or you might need a stone that's got coral on it to cast a spell, or whatever else. This just sort of like condenses that idea and makes it easier to understand within the confines of the game. I'm going to go up to Twinbrook. Let's see if there's anybody up here we can recruit. So in Twinbrook, we have a chaotic neutral sorcerer. We have a true neutral wizard. We have another paladin who is apparently an aquatic elf. All right. We have a neutral good halfling rogue. That might be a cool idea. The neutral good halfling rogue, unfortunately, is spec'd into poaching, though. And so it's more of a combat build than a helpful build. Like, I was kind of looking for a rogue that might possibly be able, and in fact, I like these to be expanded right here so I can see everything they have. So we'll go ahead and open that on up. You've got 5 out of 9 on open lock, and you've only got 0 out of 4 on disabled device. If we want this character to be really, really useful, we're going to have to bring that disabled device up. But, you know, we could bring along a halfling friend. Let's do that. 160 bucks for a new friend? Why not? Because that's how you get friends in real life. You buy them. They want me to deliver a letter to Myrondale. I think we can do that. I'm headed out anyways. I'm just looking for new party members, so we might as well. Looks like Myrondale is like kind of over here. We're not going to like really touch on any of these adventuring spots. The little skull over the shoulder of the enemies is going to denote how challenging they are for you. I know that I kind of compared this game to Battle Brothers, but truthfully, this game is a lot more forgiving than Battle Brothers. This game does a really, really good job of telegraphing to the player what they can and cannot handle, which is nice because if you die, the game is like effectively over. You can obviously save and there's no forced Iron Man or anything else like that, but I tend to play it as it lies. Like if I die, I restart. That's just how I play most games. And so anyways, I do appreciate the fact that the game goes out of its way to be like, whoa, 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 watch out. This place might be too tough for you. Or, you know, this is hardly a threat at all if they've got like the little gray skull. We should probably hit all these towns along the way too. They want me to survey the prices in Lud. We have a dark, is he not spec'd into anything? Yeah, he's just a general purpose rogue. We have a ranger over here. I like the idea of a ranger. That might be kind of fun. Take a ranger instead of a fighter since our paladin is basically a fighter already. She's a gnome ranger. Interesting. What does she have? So she's good with hammers. She's good with shields. She's got knives. And it looks like she's got precise shot, which means she can fire into melee, which is really, really good. She's got point blank shot. Not too bad. I think we could probably play around with that. Yeah, let's make the party a little bit bigger. We've got all kinds of like small folk with us now. We've got a halfling, we've got a gnome, and just one big old human lumbering along beside him. I don't know if I can cross down here, but I'm gonna try. Oh, we were attacked by a baboon. Okay. Well, we'll move people up right now. How far can baboons move? Pretty far, actually. I figured that a baboon's land speed was probably pretty considerable. We got a 95% chance to hit right there. Love it. And down goes the baboon. I'm sure he's regretting his decisions, but he's nothing but XP to me. It looks like we're going to cut around another way in order to get down here. So let's go take a look. We've got a couple of days to drop this off in Myrondale, 6 days to be more specific, but it does fill out our map, and I'd like to have sort of an idea of what I'm working towards here. In Myrondale, we've got another paladin, many, many paladins around. No Warhammer, no shield for sale, so that's a little bit of a bummer. They want me to go, I need to go to Lud, so if I can find a quest that takes me to Lud, that would be great. I'm going to reload up on supplies, we'll go to Burtbury and see what they want us to do. Let's see here. Sandy Witch, kill light warhorse. That might be a little bit tough, but we do get a heavy pick, like a magical pick right there. Do we have any good party? Ooh, a monk. I didn't even realize monks were included. That's kind of cool. We are getting a little melee heavy, though. I think we're going to want to... We've got 1 ranged and 2 melee. We'll probably want to pick up some kind of wizard or something. Possibly a cleric. And then decide what we want to do with the final person after that. As far as equipment goes, we've got a bunch of lockpicks. I'll take the lot of them. So we've got 11 lockpicks now. You need a lockpick in order to open locks. I know. Shocking. Unbelievable. Who would have ever guessed that you need picks in order to open locks? We also have what look like potions and things over here. They're kind of expensive, though, so I'm probably going to walk away on that one. Let's head on up to... We'll go up to Royshire real fast and see if we can grab anything good up here. They want me to take that to Yorkton. Yorkton is back the way that I'm going, because we got to go to Lud for the tutorial. So I guess I'll go up to Yorkton real fast and drop this off. Oh, that rat. I guess the rat is kind of feeling a little bit ambitious right now. I wasn't expecting to be attacked by a singular, massive, horse-sized rat, but, you know. Fair enough. If the horse-sized rat wants to fight the horse-sized rat we shall. Oh, did I grab the wrong character? I think I did. She should have a knife on her, though, if we swap to one of her alternate weapon sets. 6 damage out. Doesn't matter. We didn't get to her next turn because we have killed the rat already. All right, let's take this thing on up to where it needs to go. We're delivering salt right now, dude. We're like MLG Gaming. All right, we'll put this over here. There it is. We completed the delivery of salt. We got a little bit of relation with the town. Every single one of these towns has, like, nobles and stuff, and you can sort of, like, ingratiate yourself to them, which will give you more opportunities. And do we have anything good in here? There's a shield. Shield's good. That's a sap. That's for knocking people out. Some nunchucks, dude. Nunchucks are kind of dope. I'll buy one shield, though, because I'd like to put that on my paladin. I don't know why our hit rates have been so piss poor lately. I feel like with a +7, we should be smacking pretty good, but alas, does not seem to be going that way. I think that picking up a lawful neutral cleric. Yeah, don't hate that. And she's apparently she? I don't know. Either way, is a undead hunter. It's kind of badass. I don't know, dude. I feel like if I ever fell into a job title that, like, accorded me the title of, you know, undead killer, that's pretty badass. Like, that's something that makes somebody stop and think, really. All right, off to Lud we go. Okay. So we've made it to Lud, and they want me to start doing things. I got to pick up a 5th party member, but we're not quite there yet. I don't think I need a fighter. I think we're pretty good on melee guys, and in fact, I kind of need to dive on into my character sheets and figure out what everybody's doing. So does she not have proficiency with this bow? Really? A ranger that doesn't have bow proficiency. Can't say that I'm in love with that. We're definitely going to want to pick up something like that in the future. Apparently, she's proficient with crossbows, so we'll give her a crossbow for right now. She's definitely going to need to have longbow proficiency, though. I need to go into the options, and I need to do manual level ups. On the plus side, we can also start kind of like... I'm going to go get this hobgoblin over here. I don't know if I can catch him. There we go. Hobgoblin should be good XP. I'll have everybody kind of dither around here and just kind of hang out for a minute. I don't know where he's at. He's probably around... There he is, right there. We've actually got... Is this guy dual-wielding scythes? Okay, that's got some pretty strong Darksiders energy. 75 now that she has a crossbow. Much better. Much, much better. We've got our cleric over here. We'll just wait on this guy. I don't feel the need to, like, run up on him and act all crazy. Well, maybe I will with my paladin. We are full of righteous fury! There we go. After being full of righteous fury and murdering a guy in a field, I feel better. I'll be honest. I feel like the paladin-y parts of myself have been assuaged. There's a cabin over here. What's going on with the cabin? We can search for supplies. I'm going to have her search for it because she's got 4 search skill. Hey, we found something. What did we get? So we got some supplies, we got some spell materials, and we got a healer's kit. I'll take it all. There's also a graveyard down there. Maybe I should go to the graveyard. Let's see if there's any fun adventures to be had in the graveyard. This is the dungeon diving interface. Basically, you click in between these cells to decide where you want to go. With 5 out of 9 right here and some lockpicks, we can try to open this. There we go. We get anything good? 36 bucks and a throwing hammer? All right. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. Situation unknown. We'll step on into the room. I'm a fan of situations that are unknown. A few dogs have been found in this room. Can we make friends with them? Can we be like, hey, buddy, come here, pal. You're a good boy. Do I have to kill them? Is that, like, necessary? I don't really want to kill them. I feel like killing dogs are awesome. I have several dogs. I like all of my dogs. I don't want to fight or kill dogs. I want to pet them and sit on the couch, perhaps under a blankie, while they scratch at their ears and fart dog smells. Nice hit from the cleric right there. I'm going to try and soften him up a little bit. Ow! Stop it! Okay. Yeah, if I could get... Oh, she's in... Okay. Finish that off right there. I don't want to kill the dog just yet because I want to get a heal off so that when we go to the next room, we'll be alright. There we go. Cure Light Wounds will take care of it. Perfect. Is that all of them? 66 XP. Not bad. Okay. Let's continue walking along the corridor here. Dungeon actually kind of larger than I thought it would be. There's something suspicious ahead. It was a trap. A scything blade trap. I can attempt to disarm it. I doubt it's going to go very well, though. Hey, all right. We pushed our way on through. What's in this room right here? Anything scary? Nothing. All right, let's head back. I'm assuming that there's going to be like some kind of big bad in the final room. Or like something scary. Here, we'll swap off who's searching for right now. A camouflaged pit trap. Feels bad. You got it on the first try with a 20%? Look at you, you absolute goddess. Alright, what kind of monsters we got in here? Oh, did she die? Hold on, I'm missing a guy. Did the swinging... Oh, no, dude. Did I kill my first adventurer? I didn't read the text prompt. I just assumed that we succeeded. Guess that's what I get for assuming. Alright, nice little hit right there. Better hit right there. Very nice. Soften you up a little bit before you close the gap. Ow, I've been speared. Alright, we got some +1 arrows. Not bad, not bad. Yes, our rogue is quite dead right now. Unfortunately, the level 1 challenge was too much for her. I don't know if there's resurrections. I would assume there is because this is D&D. And so chances are, yeah, you can. You can resurrect people. So there you go. We've been resurrectificated. I actually normally, I'm kind of hardcore when it comes to playing D&D. I usually take restoration spells and I usually take reses out of the game. Like, I don't know, I like my D&D campaigns to be a little bit heavier, have a little bit more weight to them. I tend to be, like, in the camp of, like, Dark Souls type D&D campaigns. I like my D&D campaigns to be really, really difficult, really, really gnarly. I like the players to really think about whether or not they want to do a combat, basically. Like, I believe that combat should be a particularly large risk, and every combat should be thought about. Other people are free to disagree, though. If you want to do, like, a murder hobo campaign, or you want to do something a little bit more lightweight, that's all good. That's just not my kind of campaign. I've been playing D&D now since I was, like, 14, and I'm in my, I'm getting into my middle 30s. Like, I've played a lot of D&D over the course of my life, and so I like my D&D to be rough and tumble and deadly. I don't even know what those were. Half-orc berserkers? Okay. Well, it looks like we were victorious. I don't think there's anything else for us to do here. I guess the ultimate take was those +1 arrows, which are hopefully valuable. I don't know if these actually reset with time. Oh, they do. They actually reset every month or so. That's very, very interesting. I wonder if when they reset in accordance with how high level the party is, so that, like, every location remains a challenge at all times. That'd actually be an interesting mechanic. But anyways, my name is Splattercat. This is Low Magic Age. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my coverage of it. There's a lot of good ideas right here. I would definitely caution people, like, don't disregard this one because, you know, the graphical fidelity is not through the roof or anything else like that. This is actually a fairly good simulation of a D&D campaign if you don't have time to actually sit down with 4 or 5 people and play one at the table. This is pretty solid if you just want to play by yourself with a party that you've made. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for stopping on in. That's about all I got for you, but I'll be back tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet. Bye, everybody.